Then in the 64th minute, this happened. Wait, pause it right there. So that's the second touch. And if you watch the World Cup, you'd know that this ends up as a goal. But let's do some calculations real quick. The regulation distance between the goal line and the penalty box is 18 yards, and it was covered by these 3 stripes, meaning that each stripe is about 6 yards long. When receiving that pass, Messi was approximately in the middle of the stripe, with midfielder Hector Herrera standing on the end of the stripe, meaning that Messi had about 3 yards of room to work with when taking that touch. To put that into perspective, an average size hammock is 3 yards. Messi had less than a hammock amount of space to take a touch and score a goal while being hounded down by one of Mexico's best midfielders of all time. If the first touch was the definition of misfortune, then the second touch, well, it had to be perfection. Because with Herrera running at Messi at full speed at such a close distance, and the ball coming not just fast, but with a slight bounce, Messi had 0.7 seconds to put it on the ground and score. If the touch is too hard, Herrera steals it. If the touch is too soft, Messi doesn't have enough power to shoot. If the touch is too far to the right, Herrera steals it. If it's too far to the left, Messi would have to use the inside of his boot, meaning no power behind the shot. It's a touch that looks so deceptively simple on the outside, yet requires unimaginable skill. But there's a reason why we call him the GOAT. If you think the second touch was difficult, then the third one provides some pretty close competition. Even with Messi controlling the ball in such a tight space, there were a couple of obstacles en route to the goal. First was the most obvious observation: distance. With the shot being outside of the box, the shot had to cover 25 yards of distance. To put that into perspective, out of the 172 goals scored in the tournament, there were only 11 that were scored outside the box. And if you discount all the ones that were a product of misfortune rather than pure skill, then only 4 of these goals were from a further distance than Messi's. Now the second obstacle were the 4 players that were in a 6-yard radius within Messi when he took the shot. Take a split second too long or drag your shot wide, and Herrera is slide tackling that ball all the way back to Barcelona. Hit the ball at the wrong angle and it deflects off of one of the players. In fact, en route to the goal, there was less than 1 yard of space in between the Argentinian and Mexican players, meaning that the shot had to be inch perfect. And the last obstacle was actually scoring. Even if Messi were able to successfully take a touch and get it through the defenders, he would have to get it past 6-foot-tall goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa, who was positioned in the center of the goal. Ochoa already stood about 3 feet in front of the goal, therefore covering the majority of the goal line after diving. To get it inside the small space in between Ochoa's hand and the goalpost, Messi couldn't be off by 1.25 degrees. And this is all while getting enough velocity on the ball to cover that distance. But if soccer is a game of numbers, then Messi is the world's greatest mathematician. With Argentina's fate on his shoulders at the old age of 35 years old, Messi delivers once again.
Lionel Messi